Here we go.
We're talking about how to start. What did you think of this start and the impact it had on the game as a whole?
Yeah, it was night and day from Brooklyn, obviously. 42 points. I don't like giving up 31, especially on some of the mistakes we made, but I carried it over to second quarter, 36 there, and had a big first half. So we struggled to score against Brooklyn, only 15 there. It was a much more concerted effort to attack, get out in transition, pass the ball, and so pleased with that.
Do you think that Jalen's rebounding is starting to impact his offense where he's not going as long without touching the ball?
Yeah, and also rebounding and pushing. We encourage him to get off the glass, use his athleticism, and get out and play with pace. And so our team in general, especially the starters, is not the fastest paced group. Fred pushes it but doesn't go anywhere half the time. And so Alpy is very slow there as well. So we don't have a naturally fast first unit, so Jalen can kind of ignite that with the first group, and then obviously when the second group comes in, it's different. So he's enjoyed some success with those guys there. But yeah, he get out, get on the glass. We want him to crack back and help anyway, and then it kind of ignites his transition, which it did tonight.
Is it as simple as that? That's 3 games in a row he's had double-digit rebounds after not having done that at any point previously in his career.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part, and we've talked to him about it and showed him a lot of film of him standing, kind of watching, watching guys fighting one-on-one down there, go clean it up. And so with that, he, like I said, he'll either get offensive putbacks, he can get in there and impact it that way, but also, like I mentioned, defensively. So it's an effort-focused thing that he's really bought into lately, and you see it with the numbers.
When they cut the lead to 10 there late, what do you think about the poise your team showed and kind of shutting the door there?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we just had to get some stops, and we got back out and ran before they could set up the zone. But even in the zone, we got some really good looks. I don't love the isolation up top. We want to find Alpy in the middle of the zone. You kind of break the zone there and then get some movement on the backside. We didn't get much movement, more so standing around watching. So got stagnant there, which the zone is kind of designed to do. But Fred, Jalen had some wide open threes out of it. I don't mind those looks at all. But then just attacked the zone, got into Alpy, made some nice moves there. So decent job there, but it did slow us down. Got to be better against the zone.
Do you have any recollection of a player ripping off those 3 transition dunks like Cam did to close that first quarter?
I'm sure I've seen it somewhere across my years, but no, that's who he's been his whole career so far. I mean, college, high school, all that, and his energy has been great. And like I said, that second unit playing fast like that, they really get stops and get out and play with that pace I'm in is a big part of that, and always looking to find those guys so they get out and run for them.
Coach, how pleased were you with just the complete team when you look at the box score? Some of the guys contributed really in different ways.
Yeah, and like I said, Fred, 0 makes or whatever he ended up with, 0 for 4. Really took 1 shot in the first half, but had 14 assists and only 2 turnovers. He made the technical free throws, but Fred doesn't care, and so I love how he impacted it there. And then obviously 2 30-point scores, and Jalen on the glass, Cam off the bench, 20 points. You look at it, 19 second chance points, 29 fast break points, and 36 assists. That tells you what it is, the story of the game. Guys are pushing it, playing together, playing free and passing the ball. And so, yeah, it adds up to all those numbers when you kind of do it that way.
What do you think about Jabari's return tonight?
It's good. He, looked fresh to some extent. I mean, he was active there, gives us the versatility back and some size there, and then, made some shots, knocked that down. So, obviously his 18 points and 9 rebounds contribution there was missed. And like I said, it always puts guys back in their normal role and position, and Jay Sean and those guys kind of feed off that as well. And so it was great to have him back, obviously.
Is the competitive edge of a guy like Dillon Brooks even more important in a spotlight game like this one?
Yeah, I mean, that's a night-to-night basis on his part. It's just, you don't love him taking himself out of the games with some of the cheap fouls, and just got to keep his discipline and composure there. But that's the edge he gives us. He's given us all year, and so it's a natural thing for him. And I don't think it's any more tonight. He might take it personal or something, whatever the case may be. But he brings that toughness, and our team feeds off of him, and so that was missed when he was out for sure.
Earlier you talked about Jalen's rebounding, but is what you kind of envisioned? Because I know when you took over as coach, you kept talking about how you wanted to see Jalen become more of that all-around player.
Yeah, it's part of it. He has some good defensive possessions as well. Taking pride on that end, and then the rebound is a piece. The assist, obviously, got to continue to improve on the reads. When to shoot, when to make the pass, and not playing the crowd as much, so he can continue to grow in a lot of ways. But that's a good first step, is obviously taking the challenge defensively, and then the rebounding, pushing the pace, and not just only scoring to impact the game. You can do it in other ways, and you've seen that the last 3 games.
What do you think of Sengun's defense, especially in the first half against Anthony Davis? He seemed like he was making it really difficult for him around the basket and keeping him away from offensive rebounds as well.
Yeah, other than the one blow by, I think he guarded him well one-on-one inside. Gave up the one lob, slipped behind, and some Davis does well there. But yeah, we'd love to not have to double or help there and let him guard one-on-one. He pushed him off his spot, got some hands on the balls, and made it a little uncomfortable there. So he's good in that area. Got to continue to improve the pick and roll, but we feel comfortable with him guarding one-on-one most matchups in the post.
Going back to Jalen rebounding these past 3 games, is this an example of if your shot's not going or you're not scoring, doing something else really well leads to it?
Yeah, and that's what we strive for with all our guys. And when you get the collective effort, and you see the rebounding numbers for our team, you see the offensive pace that we play with, different guys rebounding and pushing. And so, yeah, that's what we're talking about with him. It's halfway through, and you got to see growth in certain areas and not just scoring the basketball. So he did that tonight. He's done that the last 3 games on the boards. And then the next piece, like I said, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton, and he's scoring at a high level. But when they start to try to take him out of the game, continue to improve on his reads and dump offs, kickouts, and finding guys wide open, because he's one of the guys that really can penetrate for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.